That was the world's worst clap.
No, it's fine.
Okay, I missed my hand.
My
hand didn't meet. So I'm normally a very loud clapper. I pride myself on it. Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Middle Ground. I'm Caroline.
I was wondering where you were going there. I was like, are you introducing me? Do you want me to talk? We've practiced this intro over 100 times.
Yeah.
I'm Joe.
And we have a guest with us.
And we were supposed to have 3 mics, and then I don't have a toggle, and I don't know how USBs work. And so if you're watching this on YouTube,
Hi.
Hey, meet Darcy.
This is Darcy.
Hi.
We're very excited about having her today. Darcy is a dear friend of mine, and she is the owner and designer of Darcy Apparel and the Darcy Collection.
Yeah.
And she's fabulous, and she's so much more than just that, but we're going to get into it. A lot of you guys have been asking us about capsule wardrobes, sustainable purchasing in clothing, and so much more whenever it comes to style and personal style, and I couldn't think of anyone better than Darcy.
No, literally.
So,
No one better.
We asked her, and she's in town. So
Yeah, thanks so much. I'm a fan. I'm super excited to be here.
Yay. Okay, grounding moments. Do you want to go first, Steve?
Sure. Okay, so my grounding moment is this morning I woke up not like super early. I've been slacking because of the colder weather. Like I feel like in the summer I woke up really early. Now I'm like, oh, I just want to snuggle in. But I woke up like, I don't know, at 7, and I was like, I'm going to roll my yoga mat out and do a little stretching. And I'm embarrassed to say I've never been able to touch my toes ever in my whole life. And I'm getting onto myself because I'm like, Caroline, you're 23 years old. Like, this needs to be...
It's not going to get any easier.
No, exactly. Exactly. And I've been thinking about that. I'm like, it's not just going to click. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, today I can touch my toe. Like, I have to practice it. So I'm really trying to work on that. This is day 1, so stay tuned for... Hopefully I keep this up. But I think it's important to just stretch your body and
I bet by the end of the month, like by the end of November, easy.
Yeah, for
if
sure.
I do it every day,
Right.
maybe. Yeah.
But it doesn't, you don't need to do it for more than 5 minutes. Brush your teeth and then
That's true.
practice and then finish brushing your teeth.
That's true.
Like,
I know.
it doesn't require
A whole production. I know. I know.
My mom used to stretch every single night before bed. She did 2 things. She stretched and she would lather her feet in lotion. Like you've never seen. Like, what I remember it as is her just filling 2 socks with lotion.
Why? I do
Not really.
Like,
not,
I know.
but I mean, and then she would put these big fuzzy socks on and she would sleep with them.
Oh, because it makes your feet so soft.
Yeah.
I know why she did that.
Because it was the 90s.
No,
That's why.
I can't get behind that.
Everybody.
I'm happy for her. And
People
who else?
People were doing that in the 90s. Like the way that you brush all your eyebrow hair straight up.
Yeah, that's
People
true.
were
I
socking and
Lotioning.
I just had a memory come back to me. Do you guys remember like this fuzzy socks that were like lotiony?
Yes.
Like they came lotiony?
that you got at Walgreens with the stretchy shirts.
Yes.
No, I don't remember that.
They were like they weren't like lotioned, but
Yeah.
they had like
an ointment. Like they were like a
Yeah.
mask, a foot
kind-
mask.
not
but you could
really.
wear 'em over and
no,
over.
it was like reusable.
Weird.
They were like lotiony.
Interesting. No.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It feels
Also-
like you just slide around in there.
Yeah, I'm now completely off, but I saw before we got on the podcast, we were talking about celebrities and like being interested in celebrity culture and gossip, and Caroline and I are both kind of bad at keeping up.
Yeah.
I'd say like I do better than most because of being on TikTok. Darcy, however,
Oh, watch out.
Yeah. she knows. And I
Yeah.
just brought up these bubble shirts. And this is a bit of a celebrity thing that I noted. I watched an interview with Sophie Turner. Is that her name?
I don't know who
The
that
one
is.
that's married to Joe Jonas?
Yes,
Is that
yes,
right?
that's
Okay.
her name. Yes.
Okay, that was in Game
She
of
was in
Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I was about to say Game
I'm
of
like,
Thrones.
I
I
know-
haven't watched that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She was wearing a maxi, like she's pregnant and she was wearing like a maxi dress, but it was the Walgreens bubble material.
Yeah, that's kind of in right now.
It's back.
And when you take it off, it's tiny.
Yeah.
And then it stretches back out.
okay.
Yeah, that's having a moment.
And my
Crinkle.
brain exploded. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes sense for a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
Stretches.
Lovely. It's
And then
perfect.
it can
Yeah.
come back.
Yep.
Yeah. she's pregnant with their second kid. I was like, no way. Had no idea.
Yeah, they're a really cute couple.
They are cute. Anyway.
Did you know Nick Jonas comes here a lot?
No.
To Arkansas?
Yeah. I don't know. That is
A lot? I'm like, let's step back a few steps.
Wait, okay, I'm gonna bounce. Emma Chamberlain was here, which I love Emma Chamberlain. Had no idea. Now she's gone. Anyways, no, Nick or one of the Jonases comes because Chris's mom works for Walmart and always sees him in the office. And she
I was going to
knows
say,
him.
there's got to be, it's probably a
there has to be a
Walmart,
Walmart
connection,
product. And
I'm
connection
like,
or
what?
product that
Because
he's
Kendall
created.
Jenner, I think, has been here a lot recently, too,
Oh, really?
because of some product launch with
makes
Walmart.
sense. A lot of people come here. But
And
Yeah.
people talk about it. They're like, so-and-so's in town. I'm like, are they? Or are they here for a product launch and then they're going to get on their private
Yeah.
jet and get out of Arkansas?
literally, they're here for like 3 hours.
Okay, I know we need to get back to grounding moments, but I just need everyone to know, last night, I've been watching a lot of home content on YouTube.
Home, like baking,
like-
maker.
Yeah, no, like not
Decorating.
decorating,
Yeah.
interior design, like tons. And I was like, you know what I really want to see? I want to see some Arkansas houses. Like, who's making Arkansas home content? No one.
Wait,
So-
no, there's a magazine. At Home Arkansas.
But
Yeah.
there's no
Not on
YouTube.
TikTok. Okay,
I'm
yeah.
looking on YouTube for like video
Digital content.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
And there's this video that was posted in September of 21. And if anybody wants to
no.
know why no one wants to move to Arkansas, it was a video of top 10 homes over $1 million in Arkansas. And it looked like maybe the top 10 homes from like 1985, but it was made last year. It was horrible.
Oh, no.
Weird.
Yeah, I can believe it.
As Matt and I were watching it, we were like, this is why people, like, I've been
Are
to cooler
scared.
places. Look where we are right now. Like, if you're looking at the YouTube video right
This is
now,
my home. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
this is in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Anyway, just devastating.
It's hard. It's hard. Sometimes it feels like the world is against us.
Yeah.
But I don't really care.
but-
I don't want people.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
Like, I want,
let's
like
let's keep
good
the secret.
creative mind. Not
Yeah.
just creative, but just, like, openness and, like, new people from all over. I think that's, like, a plus in any community. But, like, I'm fine with, like, it being small.
Yeah.
But I don't like it when people represent us
No.
to be that. Like, I don't care if people don't know. I don't like it whenever it's not how it is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah. Like, when I lived in Italy and I said where I'm from, people were like, oh, you rode your horse to school. And they're dead serious. Like, they are dead serious. Like, that's what they think of us. I'm like, yeah, I did.
It was normal.
It has to be so rare in America to ride a horse to school. Like, I'm sure it happened somewhere, but that can't be common.
No, because, like, where are you going to park your horse? Unless you go to horse school. You
well,
know?
like, I'm sure in small towns that they have, like, there is a small town somewhere
like a
that they have
stable.
stables. I'm sure somewhere. But that can't be common.
No. I don't know.
Definitely not.
If you ride your
Anyone.
horse to school, DM us.
Yes, let us know.
Darcy, what's your grounding moment?
Shoot. Okay. I feel like it has to do with the clothing collection because we're about to come out with a couple new products. I'm really excited.
Tell everybody about it.
Everything.
It just takes a lot of time to develop, a single piece of clothing, especially when you're kind of small like me. And so I've kind of been working on a sweater. It feels like forever, and just a big, chunky, comfortable sweater. And we finally finalized it, which is really exciting for me. And it'll be here in early December.
Wow.
So,
I can't wait.
Can you tell us what color or no?
well, yeah, I'll tell you. We did 2 colors. We did a really pretty blue, which I've kind of worked with that like cornflower blue in the past with some of our linens. And then we also did just a really nice white, like creamy white.
I am obsessed with all the colors everything has come out with. So you're in, how many collections have you done? Do you know?
Yeah, I think it's 4.
4?
This will be the
number
4th. But yeah.
So I own pieces from every single one. And there's some of my most worn things in my
you
closet. I wear
all the
them
time.
all of the time.
Yeah. Thank you.
All of the time. So I'm excited for
That's
a sweater.
my hope. Yeah. That's what I just want to make things that like people can wear.
JC and I
multiple
were
years.
actually just talking about the knit tee.
Yes.
She's worn holes in hers because she's worn it
We need, yeah.
so much because she's had it for I think that was 2 years
That
ago?
was 19. Or no,
Okay.
that was early spring 2020 actually. The
Okay.
Madeline tee.
Right.
Yeah.
So she's had it for 2.5 years. She said she wears it to work like at least 2 times a week.
Oh,
like
yeah.
so much.
I love that. Yeah.
She's like,
I know.
this-
I'm wearing, this is Darcy's.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's-
she's
I
got
like
the Vivian.
made an effort. I
the
was
Vivian
like, I
wrap
need
top.
to wear Darcy, but it comes in a set, so it's like a biker short
Yes.
set. Couldn't find the shorts. Asked Chris. He's like, I don't know. And for some reason, I have 2 pairs and
Of
I'm
shorts.
Like,
Yeah.
I have to find 2.
Yeah.
Couldn't find them, but it's cold, so I was like, I'll just wear jeans. But my mom, I was telling Darcy before you came, my mom steals this. And so I was like, couldn't find it. And I'm like, my mom has it. So I was like, hello, where's the Darcy tee? She's like, oh, it's at my apartment. I'm like, you
I
brat.
love that.
So,
That's
but
what's so
luckily
great
it's-
about it.
Yeah.
Like your mom can wear it, you can wear
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And it's so comfy and all the
It looks
things.
great.
It's great for nursing
Yeah.
because I remember
Just yeah, just
this launched right around the time that I was about to have G, and I wore mine all the time because
Yeah.
I could
It's
just
really
whip it
easy.
out.
It's tied
and it
right
comes in
here.
the sweet like pink color too.
Yes.
So
Yes, that's exciting.
yeah.
So is
I'm
it just the
excited about
sweater then?
that. We actually did a sweater and then we did the Madeline tee in a long sleeve. So we just kind of made it into a long sleeve. We
nice.
did it in a poppy red,
Ooh.
which I'm really excited about. I've never done red, but yeah, it just felt right. It felt like the time.
Yeah.
And then we actually are doing another wrap top, but we did it in a short sleeve.
Ooh.
So it's
Wow,
really
what a
cute.
treat.
Yeah, it's white and it's white.
Oh,
Okay,
cute. I really want the red one. I want to wear more red. This is going to sound really wacky, but I want to wear more red because of my Dalmatian. Because it's like so cute.
So
And like
cute.
she wears a red collar. I'm like, I want to wear.
Okay, so
Incorporate more
this
red.
is going to be good for you. Spring 23, red is so in.
Oh, perfect.
I mean, every brand that when we do pre-orders and buying, all of our brands are carrying that bright poppy. I call it a poppy red.
Yeah.
It's beautiful,
It's not Woo Pig Red.
it's not Woo Pig red. It can be.
yeah.
There's a lot of variations of Woo Pig red. Pig Suey red.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so you're in for a good year.
treat.
Yeah,
And it's
2023.
so cute with Dalmatian walking down the street.
I do miss that part of being in boutique world and seeing the buying and everything early because I felt so in the
Like
loop.
in the know, yeah.
Even though I wear the same things every year. Like I my style doesn't change a lot to trends. Like I might get a piece or two. But I still really enjoyed
It's fun.
feeling like I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it was I've never worked in boutique world, but when I lived in Italy, like they know things ahead of time.
Yeah.
And I never knew that. I was like, oh, America knows everything first. No.
America knows nothing.
No, Europe is
Nothing.
so
Like,
ahead.
they had like, and this was in 2018 to 19, they had the puka shell necklaces and those were coming back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are these Italians wearing? Like,
You're
I
like,
was
they're
judging.
so behind.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, they're so 1998.
Yeah, I was like, who should tell them? Like, I need to be the person to
Yeah.
tell them. And then, like, literally, like 6 to 7 months later, Americans were wearing it
Yep.
on my Instagram feed. I'm like, I'm shook. And, like, multiple other things. But that was, like, one that stood out to me was the puka shell necklaces.
It's so true.
My friends that are really into fashion don't follow American creators.
Oh, yeah.
Like JC.
Yeah,
like,
usually
I don't know
Italian.
Who else. I'm thinking a lot of Australian.
We carry a lot of Aussie brands because I don't know, they're killing it.
They just know.
I feel like
Danish.
Denmark,
We're on the same
Like-
level there. Danish fashion is so fun. It's
And
so
so
colorful
cute, yeah.
and cute, and they love patterns. And then the other is Korea, South Korea. Like
That's not surprising.
they are ahead. They are always ahead. And they just are so good at the capsule work, like classic style stuff that never goes out, but like somehow is fresh and in. That's another, you know, people to watch.
I really want to speak on this today, and it's where a lot of the questions I have sit, so we'll lead into it. But I want to talk a lot about how you can work with capsule and still have it reflect your personal style and ways that we can style older items to still feel fresh. I think it's
Yeah.
a really good conversation that I'm sure people want to hear us have. So
For sure.
I'm just going to say my grounding moment.
I know, I was
as
like-
we're
Yeah, I was like,
digging
oh wait,
in.
yeah.
I finally hired somebody to clean the house, and my life has changed forever. I had somebody that cleaned our home our home before we moved. But then when we moved, I was like, I've got it for a while because we were in the chaos of trying to get things unpacked and there was just stuff everywhere and our counters were always messy. And we're finally getting caught up in that chaos. Like the house is easier to pick up because it's not getting as messy regularly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I finally bit the bullet, hired somebody fabulous, and that's life-changing.
I feel like that.
I
is
love that.
life-changing.
Yeah, it is so helpful.
Well, the thing is, I just don't do that good of a job. Like, people who aren't outsourcing cleaning, who are properly cleaning your home, good on you.
Yeah,
I'm not doing it.
yeah.
And I totally understand that it's such a privilege to be able to hire somebody. But after having her clean my house, I was like, oh, my house wasn't even getting cleaned prior to this.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Do you find it hard to like, because before they come clean, you have to really tidy up? Sometimes I struggle with that. Like I'm
Our
like,
house has been, when I say tidy, like it has been pretty tidy the last 3 to 4 weeks. We were behind on laundry, so there were some piles of clothes. But other than that, we're finally... But the thing is, we were really intentional when we renovated this house, having places for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes a world of difference when you're trying to fit like 2,000 square feet of stuff into an 1,100 square foot house, or vice versa, whatever it is, or storage. It's really not even the size of the house. It's the way the storage is laid out.
yeah,
It doesn't work.
No. Like in our old kitchen, it would always get cluttered and messy. And we had a decent sized kitchen, but not for the amount of kitchen stuff
Right.
we do.
I was gonna say, I feel like you don't have like a ton of stuff everywhere. Like you're
Right.
just, yeah, you've like minimized and
Yes. So, not as stressful as it used to be. I used to really understand that feeling.
yeah.
And now not as much. Also, Matt had to do it. So, he'd probably have a different take on it. He did use some buckets, not like baskets I'd gotten from Target. And he's like, I was going to return them. And he's like, can we keep these? And I was like, sure. Like, what do you want to use them for? He's like, I've now emptied them, but they are my shit buckets. And I was like, I'm concerned. Can you tell me more? And he's like, well, like if you take your car to get the oil changed and it's all dirty, they'll just put all your stuff like in a basket and then set it in the back of your car. I was like, yeah. He's like, that's what I did when the cleaning person came. And then I put everything away that was in the
Smart.
basket. And
Baskets
I was like,
are
great.
Baskets are the best. Having baskets at home,
Huh.
especially once you have a kid.
Yeah.
There's just toys and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Everywhere.
next level.
And you pick it up. I do a reset twice a day.
I was gonna say,
And not only do I do a reset
Tornado.
twice a day, my kid is neat.
yeah. Just wait.
I
Give
have
her
a
like
16-month-old who is...
give her a few months.
Well, no, I'm concerned. Like, if she drops food on the floor, she gets down and picks
picks
the
it up.
food up. Because she
Go,
doesn't,
girl.
like...
Yeah.
She doesn't want to waste any of it. I'm like, this is weird. And she puts her toys away. Like,
Wow.
it's not by prompting.
Yeah,
Like,
just
it's
kind of
not,
like
we've not taught this. This is just like, she doesn't like to have a bunch of stuff out at once. It's very...
that's cool. That's good.
Matt's like, this is concerning.
Hopefully
She's like, she's 16 months old.
Hopefully
Matt's
she
like,
keeps
she's
it up.
neurodivergent. Like, Matt's like, she's for sure neurodivergent.
Organizing.
Yeah, or
everything,
she's- or
lining
she's-
everything up.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, it's okay. It'll be great.
smart.
I was like, you're neurodivergent. You're great.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome.
Anyhow.
you
Wait,
ready
what
to...
was your running moment? I didn't even hear.
Getting the
Oh.
house clean. Wait, this whole thing.
Well, we were like on a roll. I was like really engaged. I'm like, did you even say it? Okay, never
Yeah.
mind. I'm
Do you even
stupid.
listen to me when I
No.
talk? No, I'm just kidding. Literally, no.
I don't. Also, I've only had coffee today, and it's not bad, but my mic is balancing on my leg. I don't even know if you can see it, and it's like shaking just a little bit. It's fine, like,
Yeah.
but I can notice it. Anyways.
Yeah.
I was supposed to have only a coffee this morning, and I got here too late to get my coffee, so I'm gonna drink coffee and get banana toast.
What
After.
a
No, I'm
dream.
not. I'm gonna get overnight oats if they still have them.
Yeah, I think they do.
Yum.
Anyway, yeah, join us for breakfast.
I
if you
will.
want.
I
can't
am.
wait.
I am.
Yay.
I'm excited.
Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
You really honed in, focused. So you lead.
Oh, I was gonna have you lead.
Oh, you want me? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll do it. Okay, sorry. Caroline and I need to be better about making plans. It would be more professional, but you know, who would listen then, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, Darcy. So I think the number one thing that we've been asked over and over again that immediately you came to mind, and I really wanted to have you on. I met Darcy in 2015. Do you think that's right? I think
Yeah,
it
I think
is.
I think that's right.
So I met Darcy over 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was I was Caroline's age.
Just graduated.
Yeah, I was Caroline's age when we met, and I had no sense of personal style yet whatsoever. And Darcy was somebody that really inspired me, and has ever since then, in the way in the 7 years that I've known her, has always really incorporated trending things and colors, and you're really aware creatively, and I feel like you express yourself really well through your clothing. But I also see items even when I'm out and about, and I think, oh, Darcy. Like I associate you, and I don't even know what they are. Like I don't have like a list of items in my head or anything, but I always really admired that. So I really want to start things off by what you would say to young women like me whenever I first met you, who are in that season of trying to like make it through the noise and find their personal style.
Thanks for saying that. I think, well, no, I mean just the beginning part about, feeling like I really have a grasp on it. Because I think just anytime it's you don't always feel that way.
Oh, sure.
100%.
Imposter syndrome 101.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I would say that one of my biggest things is that you don't have to always fit into a certain box, especially in your 20s, right? So I want to tell them, obviously, to have some fun, and not feel like, oh, I have to be a certain way or I have to fit into this certain style. I think that's because of social media. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Like, basically, I'll see women or even talk to women about it that are like, well, I want to kind of do influencing, or I want to do that, but like, I feel like this is stepping out of what I normally do. Like, what is my personal style? I don't know. Well, you don't really have to have a signature personal style. Like, your personal style could be that sometimes you enjoy dressing out of the box. Like you may have a certain look for most of the time, what you're comfortable in, but sometimes you want a flare of color, or you like to mix a print. So, I think that's the big part, is like, I've always been an advocate for like having this really basic closet. So like great basics in your closet, and then building around those, either with like, a fun shoe that's trendy that year that like you normally, don't think of adding that in or whatever. I also think mixing vintage, and I like to mix new and old a lot. And so, you can do that through thrifting if you're into that. I have some tips, I guess, but you can also, there are amazing people that are sourcing vintage. So you can buy vintage from a lot of these sources. And I think that's a fun way to like incorporate different things into your style. So I don't know if I answered that.
Oh, yeah,
well.
sure.
I feel like that was great. I think the takeaway I have, and we actually talked about this not when it comes to style at all, but a couple weeks ago on the podcast, we talked about stop putting yourself in a box.
Yes.
And we were talking about, I think, more self-confidence and comparing whenever we were discussing that. But I think that it's another great point driven home of like, stop putting yourself in a box. When you say you want to find your personal style, for me personally, my style has nothing to do with what it looks like. I have learned. I've really honed in because I've been working on a capsule, and I have always thought that I was buying things because of what they looked like. Well, I was buying things for that. I've realized very quickly, though, that I don't pick my clothing based on how it looks when I'm pulling it out of my closet. I base everything how it feels on my body. If I'm not comfortable in it, I won't wear it no matter how cute it is. And I'm very, I prefer like lighter fabrics, even if it's a sweater. I don't like something that's really heavy unless it's a very special circumstance. So if it's a heavier sweater, no matter how cute or trendy it is, it doesn't need to go into my closet. I've just become really hyper aware of my fashion taste has nothing to do with what it looks like on my body.
And I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I think if comfort is your thing, and I think that should be a thing. You should feel like, and when women are in the store and they're shopping and they're on the fence about something, I'm like, will you wear it? Do you think you're going to wear it? And if it's like, I want to, then let's talk about what are the circumstances when you would wear it? How do you want to wear it? Like, how can we style it so that you feel confident?
Yeah.
But if the answer is like, well, this little thing is bugging me about it, I'm like, if it's bugging you, put it back.
Well, I just so often bought things because I was like, I look stylish or I look cool in this and it fits me. But I realized quickly that I have way more categories than that. And so I think if you can hone in on what that is for you, it's not just about does it look good on me? Is it in budget? Like, figure out what all of those categories are for you. And as you're purchasing things, really try to
stick to it.
Yeah,
I think another thing that is interesting is like we all go to Pinterest, right? And we pin a lot of imagery and we're like, this is the style I like. I like the way this person dresses. And a lot of times we can't translate that onto our own bodies, or we'll be like, oh, I thought I was like, sort of like trying to get into this certain style, like Alexa Chung or, whoever. And for some reason it's not translating. And I think sometimes it's that we don't really hone in on what we like about another person's style.
I realized quickly I just like skinny women in pictures, which is not like healthy.
Which is, yeah.
I think that's most people though.
But
honestly.
but that is like a hurdle I had to get over because I used to do that. Tons of pinning. I'd go through like, what do I like about these outfits? And I'm like, they just look good because they're
there's
crazy
one
thin.
common denominator.
That's a really good observation.
And also, why do I think that that's what looks good?
Yeah.
And so I started following a lot more mid-sized creators who are more in that like size 14 to 18 range, because I'm a size like 10, 12. I'm a little smaller than that, but I relate so much more to the style of the people who are size 14 to 18, and the styles and the things that they're doing and the things I like on their body were easier to translate to my own.
Yeah. I think that's great.
But
I think that's really good.
Just if you're pinning a bunch of skinny women on Pinterest.
Yeah, I know.
What
would you say to someone, because I know sometimes I struggle with this, but like social media, like trends are just like rapid. I feel like it's just like, okay, this is new, this is trending, and it's like, oh, I don't even have that much money to buy all this stuff. And it's like, what would you say is your top thing you say to women, or maybe you don't say it, that, like, what am I trying to say? Before you buy something, what should you ask yourself?
I think you should really ask yourself, like, how much am I going to wear this? And a lot of times if you want to avoid like an impulse purchase, then, think about it. Like, take a day. I'll tell people that, or even myself, I'll be like, I'm going to leave it here. And then if I'm still thinking about it in a couple days, I'll come back and buy it. If I've already moved on to the next thing, then it's usually like, okay, that was probably going to be an impulse buy that I maybe wouldn't purchase. I also think the reason why, even at my store and my brand, it has a lot to do with the manufacturing and the ethical treatment of people and the fabric content. So the prices could be higher. But that's the problem with fast fashion, is that because it's so cheap, not only is it hurting the environment, the people that are working and building that product probably aren't being paid well, you're also not really thinking about it. You're like, that's $15. Like, I'm just gonna, you don't care about it. Or you throw it on the floor, you throw it in the wash, you ruin it. It ruins because you washed it. That's usually a sign that it wasn't the best product or whatever. And so when something's a little more expensive, you really think about it. Like, you think, I worked really hard for this money that I'm about to spend right now. And so I want to know that I'm going to wear this a lot. So I think that's another way to avoid, fast fashion, fast trends, because trends do come and go. So if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if a lot of women listening may not have, I feel like it's a conversation we're having a lot, but I don't know that if universally women are having the conversation a lot about fast fashion, or maybe they're hearing fast fashion is bad often, but they don't understand that. Do you have kind of a rundown of what that looks like and like what you as a brand are trying to do different? And This is a lot of questions at once. Sorry. Let's start there. And then I
Okay.
have a follow-up that I want to hit on.
Yeah, so fast fashion would refer to, Shein has recently been in the news a lot. It could be Zara. A lot of these brands, basically what they do is they can catch a trend. So really quickly, it could be on an influencer. Now Shein works off influencers, so they see something that's trending, and then they can pump out 10,000 of those items like in a day. I don't want to speak wrong, but really quickly. And the problem is that the person that's having to do it is having to work, in unethical situations. They're being paid very little. And it's also, they have very little time off. All these things. The fabric content is probably harmful for the environment, because if it's made of poly, that's a plastic. And so it's not going to be biodegradable. It's not going to last a long time. So that's what fast fashion refers to, like, pumping out thousands and thousands of styles and doing it as cheap as possible so that you can buy it for $10.
And also, whenever it comes to it being really cheap, I know that there's a lot of waste that comes with that that I think people don't think about.
Yeah.
A lot of fabric waste, a lot of unsold product waste.
Yes.
That's just...
Yeah, they can be off. They can think
going.
that something's trending and say, I'm going to make 10,000 of these, and the fit be terrible. And then it not sell. And then it all goes, into landfill. Mm-hmm. And the other sad part is, like, the US is one of the worst about consumption, and we're consuming all this. We're like, you'll even easily see it on Instagram, TikTok, like, look at my Shein haul.
Yeah.
I got 10 things for $150, and they'll, like, go through and show all these things. And later when you're not going to wear that anymore, then, there's a cycle for clothing. So it goes, if you don't throw it in the trash, which hopefully you don't, and you send it to the thrift store, for example, some of it gets picked up, and then eventually it goes to, like, the Goodwill bins, and then later it goes to another country, and then it just keeps getting cycled until it ends up in what would be a landfill. And it's usually not in the United States. It's in another country where it's like a third world country, and it's, like, hurting people. It's hurting the water systems.
And those plastic fabrics aren't breaking down.
They're not breaking down, right?
Yeah. So
crazy, mind-blowing.
If you don't know a lot about that, I encourage you to read. And this isn't to shame anybody who is purchasing fast fashion. I get G things from Zara.
Yeah.
It's not, but it is encouraging you to think about what purchases you're making, how you're using them, and trying to really taper back on the consumption if you can.
Yeah. And I'm coming to everyone in a humble place as well. There are certain things that I own from, like you're saying, from these places. And so, but it's not what I normally do. And I still want to think about it. So even if you're going to buy something from Zara, make sure you really like it. And you're just, whatever you're buying, you want to like it and have it for a long time and get a lot of use out of it. And pass it on to your friend, or, keep it in cycle as long as possible.
Yeah.
And if the consumption piece stresses you out, something that a lot of times I'll do to make it financial, which makes it a little less big world, I need to save everybody, and more of a, like, little world, I need to save my own pocket. I think a lot about cost per wear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you like analytics, which I do, there are a lot of apps you can use to, like, put clothing items that you purchase, and then you can mark every time you wear them, and then it'll break it down like a cost per wear for you.
That's cool.
And I think that's kind of fun.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, like we were talking about, like, it's $10, and you're like, oh, it's $10. Yeah. Like, I can just buy it. What would you say to people that, like, are like, I can't afford the sustainable option, or like, how am I supposed to even, save up for this, like, big purchase? Like, would you, like, say thrift and do those things at first?
I love secondhand. I love thrifting. I do it for my store. there's a lot of stores. Here we have like Daisy Exchange and Plato's Closet where you can sell your own things and buy. You can use that money to buy from there as well. And that's a fun way to find other trends, because you can find like current trends in a lot of these places because that's how fast fashion is moving. So I do think that better than anything, even what I'm doing when I'm creating the Darcy collection, buying secondhand is the most sustainable option that we can do.
Wearing what you already have.
Wearing what you have as much as possible. And
those two things, if you can do them.
Yeah.
I do a lot of
clothing swaps are fun. Poshmark, Depop.
Yeah.
Love all of that. So I think that is a good way. Sustainable fashion is expensive, and that's because of the fabric content.
Well, that's
the way that it's made ethically. We're paying people well.
Can you kind of break that down for people? What goes into the pricing? Because I think that's we've talked about this before. Darcy and I met working at a boutique, and we were working with some other girls at the time who didn't understand how markups worked or how business worked or how. And so I think that's a really helpful thing to understand what goes into. It's not just a random number that you're picking.
Right. No, it's not. So, if you're the way that clothing is priced when you're manufacturing is by item, which is really interesting. But the more you buy or create as a creator, the less expensive the piece becomes. But, so it's a weird thing because even for me, if I was scaling my business up and I was able to say, this Madeline tee is killing it. We sell out every time. I normally make 100. I'm going to make 500 or I'm going to make 1,000. My price per item goes down. Mm-hmm. But the problem with that is that I'm making a guess. I'm guessing, and that's a lot of stores maybe are taking a guess. I think this is going to do well and I'm going to make this many. Well, you want to sell through them. And so that is how, it's priced basically from that point. And the other thing though is the fabric content. So if you're using 100% cotton, that's going to be more expensive than a cotton poly blend. Or if you can go to the next step and use organic cotton's going to be even more expensive. And that's because of from down to the production of that small quantity of organic cotton that you're using, and there's no pesticides on it. There's, so does that help?
Absolutely.
And then it also goes into the ethical manufacturing side.
Right.
So the people that are making your clothing are getting paid a living wage, or hopefully better in some situations, and so you're taking they have paid time off and all those things that we want for ourselves we should want for the people that are making our clothes.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's why it's more expensive to buy sustainable and ethical clothing.
I've been doing a lot of slow fashion or small run business that they only do they do curated collections where they only come out with 30 of, and then it's sold out.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to create too much.
Yeah.
I've been buying from a lot of brands like that recently.
And those will be the most expensive because they have the smallest quantity.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
And it costs the most.
Right.
It's just,
right.
It is hard. I usually make 100. And I try to make things because I'm just starting out really in this world or in this fashion world. So I try to make things that will sell all year round and can be worn all year round and are in style for multiple years and seasons. And so, I may not be this I'm going to sell out in 3 months person at this point, but that Madeline tee, if it doesn't sell in the first year, it'll sell in the next year.
Yeah.
That's how I try to make things.
I know the dresses. I don't remember what they were called.
The Sarah Prairie dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still wear mine all the time.
Is that the pink one?
The corduroy.
Yeah. I have it in pink and I have it in I don't know what color. It's like a green, almost chartreuse color.
Yeah.
And I wear both of them so much. And
Religiously.
people are always like, where can I? And I'm
It's
like,
a it's
like,
an incredible
gone.
piece.
It's
It's
almost
a
gone.
there's only a few left. We made those in 2019.
Yeah.
And they still are loved. And it was one of those things that when we made them, you know, I have a go between, right, between myself and my manufacturer, but they were like, you can't make this in corduroy, and I was like, but I can.
You're like, but
I
watch
want
me.
to. It's so cool. Like, let's try it. And it was incredible and beautiful. And you know, Matt, my husband, calls it my petticoat because it's
love mine.
it's incredible.
It reminds me of the little bear. Like, what's his name? Like the corduroy bear, but it's like the Paddington bear.
Like
Like,
corduroy.
I think
his name is
Yeah,
Corduroy.
yeah. Like corduroy doesn't wear that, but like every time I think of,
Oh,
Corduroy's sister wears
Yeah.
that.
oh really?
No, I'm just.
I'm like, I believe you.
That's what Darcy's design was based on.
yes, actually, I loved that book as a child.
Corduroy's sister. No, but actually, a friend just borrowed my prairie dress for her family photos 2 weeks ago.
Aw,
and wore
that's
it.
awesome.
Like,
So
and
cute.
I love that. So,
Yeah.
and I also wanted to come back and note and highlight to everybody listening that thrifting and finding your clothes via thrifting or secondhand, huge accomplishment. Be so proud of that.
Yeah.
Like, that's so exciting when you find a good piece
Yeah.
thrifting.
Yeah. Some people
Also-
hate thrifting, though.
Yeah,
And that's
I
okay.
know.
Yeah, that's okay
I don't
too,
hate
but-
thrifting. I hate shopping in general, which I think is a good thing.
Same.
Like,
Same.
it overwhelms me. I
Yeah.
walk in a store and I don't know.
You
like,
shut down.
Yeah, overconsumption of things. When I watch it, I'm like, why are we buying that? Like, I watch other people buy, like, load their carts, and I'm like, why are we buying all this?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always been like that, though, since I was little, which I think is a good thing
That's
because
good.
I don't walk in and, like, load my cart up. But where was I going with that? I was going to say something important. Dang it. We were talking about, re-wearing stuff. Let's
Yeah.
make that popular.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I think that's so cool, and I think I do a good job at this. Not to toot my own horn, but I have this dress from Riff Raff, actually, and I bought it for my senior photos in high school.
Yeah.
And I literally take it on every trip I go.
That's
Like,
amazing.
every single trip. And I'm like, how cool is that? And, like, I have this dress in, like, all these countries, all these places I've been. I'm like, that's, like, so cool. And I think we should make that trendy. Like, I think it should
Do you
be.
also have the knowledge at that age to buy something that was classic enough
Yeah, it's true.
that it spanned all this time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and you've kept it, and I mean, that's amazing.
Well, I think back to like our moms and seeing pictures of them through their 20s, and you see them in the same items
Yeah.
over and over again. And then I start associating that style with my mom.
It's nostalgic.
Yeah, and I don't feel like we have that as much now because we aren't using items in the same frequency.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
But I think culturally we're not.
Yeah. Yeah. I tend to, if I find something I like, I'll just wear it like every day
Yeah.
for like,
how
I'll
I
wear
am.
it out, you know, and then I'll still revisit it later. I do tend to do that, like wear a lot of the same things. But because I have a store, this is what's weird. I think once you, and this is maybe not everyone's experience, but like I see a lot of like people that work in fashion or designers that just wear like black all the time or super simple. And you know, the longer I've worked in fashion, the more I just keep simplifying my own pieces, my own wardrobe. I think some of it's the creativity side because you get that in your job. Like, you know, I get to do the buying, I get to do some designing and buying for other people too. I'm also buying for myself. Like, it's like I'm buying for myself, but I'll never wear any of these things. Not necessarily my own collection, but in the boutique side of things.
Yeah.
But I'm excited when I see other women, you know, really loving them and buying them and enjoying it. So we curate a lot from around the world. So I think that's a fun part of my job too, is like you said, getting to see these other parts of the world and like where they are style wise and bringing that to Fayetteville.
You guys have the best shoes, but I've yet to purchase a pair of shoes because all of your shoes are investment shoes.
They are investment shoes.
And there will be like the third season in a row that you guys have a shoe
We do.
that I'm like, I
still like that shoe.
I still like that shoe and I need to buy that. And so I have been keeping that in mind because a big thing that I've been trying to scale back on is my shoe purchasing.
Okay.
Yeah, Joe has a lot of shoes.
Shoe
I have
person.
a lot of shoes, and I think it's because I don't have as many like comfort problems with them. I mean, I want a comfortable shoe, but it's more predictable than clothing and washing and all of that.
Yeah.
And my shoe size doesn't change. And so I'm always like, oh, I can wear these forever.
Yes.
So shoe purchases are easier for me to like kind of pull the trigger on with my categories. And so I've been trying to really scale back on shoes. And I'm down to, I think I have like 35 or 40 pairs now, which is
A lot.
It's still a lot.
Is that a
but
lot?
it's
I don't even know.
way less than
Yeah.
what I had hundreds.
Oh, wow. I have very few shoes.
So do I.
And
I wear
then
the same shoe every day.
thing, yeah. And I actually do have comfort issues with shoes though. Like my feet, just I think from being a nurse for 10 years, just maybe ruined my feet. So I wear tennis shoes almost all the time. And if I'm not wearing tennis shoes, I'm wearing a very comfortable boot or
Well,
Anyway.
I, in the last 2 years, have not purchased new shoes. I've replaced my Birkenstocks. And that's
yeah.
been the big shoe purchase that I've done. And 3 years ago, I think I only purchased 2 pairs of shoes through the year. So I've been trying really hard to just
scale it back.
and use
Yeah.
what I have. But because of that, I've not yet to pull a trigger. But Darcy has the cutest
Yeah,
shoes.
seriously, the cutest.
So
Thanks,
like
guys.
the don't
I'm
you
coming
have?
for you.
I don't want to misspeak, but last time I was in your store, they were like tall cowboy boots.
They are,
are they
a
not
knee-high, like snakeskin.
Yes, those.
Well, you know, they're
Croc,
croc.
yeah.
Croc leather boot.
They're the cutest
beautiful.
thing
Yeah,
in
they're
the
by
world.
Aloha's. They're incredible. And we all just wear them all the time in the store. So it's our favorite. It's our favorite thing right now. We style them with everything. They are the most expensive shoe I've ever carried. Most expensive thing I've ever carried. And I really took a chance on it.
But they're
So.
amazing.
But they're amazing.
They are amazing.
I mean, but yeah.
I love that.
Let's reel it back just a little bit. So you said you were a nurse, for people that don't know.
Yeah.
Darcy is more than
Yeah,
just all of this.
Darcy's everything. She's a mom. She's a wife. She's a nurse.
She's a daughter.
She's a daughter. she's a fashionista. She's a friend.
Oh my goodness. Multi-layers.
Guys, I totally lost
I'm
my
a
train of
croissant.
thought.
Sorry.
I like get so into I was telling
I'm so sorry.
I was telling Darcy and Joe, like, I get so into it when we have guests. I'm like, oh, because it's like new. I know Darcy, but it's like still new information. And so I'm like, oh, yeah, I got to speak. Anyways, I'm going to reel it back even more. The first time I met Darcy, I don't even know when this was. I remember, I don't even know if you remember this. I remember asking, is your real name Darcy? And you were like, uh-huh. Just because I've never met a Darcy, and
Yeah.
I just thought that was the coolest thing because Darcy's store is called Darcy.
Yeah.
And so I was like, there's no way her real name's Darcy. Like, maybe
It
it's
is-
like a stage name.
it
like
is my
Lady
name.
Gaga or something.
We really went through some things naming the store. Not
We did.
I really include myself. It didn't include me.
It was really hard for me to name it Darcy.
I talked
But
about it with you
a
a
lot-
lot.
the cutest
all
thing
of
in
my
the world.
friends, and not only friends, but also I like took the ideas to a designing firm and to work on the logo and that sort of thing, and they were like, you have to, just so many people around me were like, you have to go with Darcy, and that was just so hard for me because it felt like I'm just obsessed with myself. Like everything's named Darcy, and I was just really worried that was going to be what people thought
I
of
do
me.
not think people think that at
But
all.
most people don't. Now that there's a store Darcy, most people don't actually think my name is Darcy.
No, I didn't.
I mean, you'd have to know me to know that it is. But
Yeah.
so
I think it's
I
the
love it.
cutest thing ever.
I do too.
Like
thanks,
your
guys.
name. is
You
just
can
so
call
cute.
my mom Gail and let her know that
Good job,
she did a
Gail.
good job.
Gail.
10
That's
out of
a
10.
cute
Yeah.
name, too.
Yeah.
So cute. Okay, so backtracking. You were a nurse.
Yes.
What inspired you to get in this world? Like, you just woke up one day and were like, oh, we're going to do this.
I always was really creative, and I really was passionate about helping people as well, or I'm sort of an empath. And so There's kind of a long backstory about how I ended up in nursing. My original degree, I was signed up as a drama major. My first creative love was performance art. And I did a 180 and did nursing because before that I had worked in another country. I took a gap year, which I know.
Love.
Yeah. I took a gap year and I worked in a neighborhood, an area of third world country, and that really changed my perspective, and I ended up majoring in nursing. And then I think after doing that and also enjoying it as well, I was just really missing that creative side. And I think I just sort of really started enjoying apparel and fashion and just creating. I think for me, it's about creating and the art of it. And not that I would say I'm an artist or anything, but
You are.
well, I mean,
I would say
it's
that.
just that's what and the fun thing about fashion is like the more I started sort of letting myself do it, the more I love it. And it's like even like getting into creating the Darcy Collection, the more I do it, the more I love it. And it just felt more right for me and like where I needed to be to better serve the people around me. And I think you can kind of force yourself to do something that you're like, this is what's helping people.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not living your own truth and passion, like that's how we really help other people. That's how we really give to others, is when we're really doing what we're passionate about. And so that's sort of, I guess how I got into it. But I also was really plagued by the scarcity mentality of like, no, I'm not, there's enough of that. No one wants me. Like, what would I do? Why would I do that? But it just wouldn't go away. It was a nagging voice that I wanted to have a store that I want, and I would try to push it away all the time. After I worked with Joe, I was like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I don't need to do that. And then it was like 6 months later, it just wouldn't go away. And so I usually tell people, if there's something that's nagging you and it won't go away, start to honor it. Try to honor it. And then I had Joe and friends that were like, you keep talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why aren't you doing it? So
I'm always team do it.
Yeah.
yeah.
So what was the day you opened your doors to your store? First day.
Well, the store was 2018. It was like, but I will say, I kind of started online. I had a blog and I sort of just transformed that into like having a retail space. And I just only did online, and I had a tiny little spot above
Taste of Thai.
Taste of Thai. It was like
know that.
I remember it.
Yeah, it was like a tiny little office, and it had shelves. And
you could schedule a time and go in.
You could
and
schedule.
Try things on.
You could come and
Oh,
try
really?
things on. Yeah, if you were local. And then I was looking across the street all the time. I had that window, and across the street on Center Street was this space that had been there forever. It said for rent. Had huge, the glass, the window was huge, but it was all blacked out. And one day I was like, I'm just gonna check it out. I called the number, met this guy there, and it looked like a 1970s law firm, which is what it was. Hadn't changed a bit. And he told me the price of this tiny little space, and I said, you know what? Had carpet, had drop ceilings. No. Terrible. I was like, I'll take it. Peeled back all of that dark, super dark tinting on the windows, and put a neon sign in there. Put one rack of clothes, basically. It was a tiny little front room, and then we changed the back into like a dressing room. Mm-hmm. Kept the carpet, the drop ceilings. I didn't do anything. I didn't get a big loan. I didn't do any of that. I started with a little bit of cash and just said, I'm just going to try this. And that's more my style. Mm-hmm. I'm not like, oh, I need 50 grand. That would freak me out.
Yeah.
So I was like dipping my toes in it, and I would be open as much as I could outside of nursing. And people liked what I was doing. I mean, it was just, I felt like there was a gap that I wanted to fill. And, I just feel like I just went for it slowly, and it was fun. I loved it and loved it more and more. And Then shortly after, sorry, this is really turned into a long story. Shortly after that building sold, I had been there maybe 3 months. And of course, you know, I think someone being in there, I give myself the credit. I'm like, I saw what was good about this building. The building sold and they started a huge renovation. And so I had to just kind of move out. But then I got to move back in. They renovated the whole shop. And that was what, you know, probably what you remember coming into first was that after it being renovated in 2018. And then I still was doing nursing. I slowly scaled back, but I did nursing up until after I had my daughter in 2020 is when I finally said, you know, I've got a daughter now. I've got this store. And I was still trying to work at the hospital while I had her too. And it was just too much. So then I said, you know, I'm going to take a step back from nursing. And then I actually, when I was big pregnant, I got a call about the Block Street location. And the time that I was going to be able to move in was basically when I was going to be having my daughter. And I was just like, I want to move over here, but this timing is rough. So I said no. And then, which was good because it was 2020. Yeah. You know, and we didn't know that. I was still like, we didn't know about COVID at that time, or we'd started hearing about it, but we didn't know about that. So, you know, thankfully that didn't happen at that time. And then he called me back like, a year and a half later, and we got to move to Block Street where we are now.
It's the cutest ever. If you're local, you have to go.
Or if you're visiting, if you're going to come, you need to go.
We put you on our NWA Rex as well.
Yeah, we did. We did a whole episode on NWA Rex.
I did. I remember that one. Yeah. Thank you.
It was fun. But I'm glad that you got to come do this.
Yeah.
Is there any like words you want to leave everybody with? That was a lot of pressure. Sorry. But
I always try to leave people. I think one of the biggest things for me that I want to leave people with is like just coming back to that, like that inner voice that I've really struggled to honor. And through therapy and things like that is how I've learned to like listen to that and try to honor it. And so if you have something that you've been thinking about for a long time and you keep telling yourself, no, maybe it's time to explore that. Open the portal.
Me too.
Those are good last words, man.
And you guys, in a month or so, December,
yes,
check out the collection.
Please come and check out the Darcy Collection on our website.
Yes, I'll share it on my stories. Undoubtedly, it'll be linked on my stories.
It'll be in the show notes.
Yeah,
not the
collection,
link,
but the website.
Yes, yes.
And go check all that out because we really value getting to support businesses like you who are doing it right, and you're a small creative, and getting to support people in their dreams. Like, how fun to see people who are so passionate and the way that passion's impacting our world.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being on. We love you. We hope you guys learned something. Yeah. Listening.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.